Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, July 6th, 2024, and this is a board meeting of the Board of Directors of the Continuing Committee. My name is Charlie Plain. I go by Midnight Lich on the forums. I am the, Director of First Edition and the current chair. Um, have everyone else introduce themselves briefly, starting with Maggie.
Hi, Maggie Geppert. I'm the executive officer, Jadzia 8 on the forums.
Justin.
Justin, Resistance is Futile on the boards.
Hey, Adam Barger, A Barger 7510, Director of Ops.
Easy to remember your username that way. So.
Yeah.
All right, we are lightly attended today, but we do have 4, which means we do have a quorum, so this is an official meeting. Our first order of business is to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. Did everyone have a chance to look those over? And could I get any comments or a motion to approve? Maggie, you're muted.
I don't remember having any comments after I read them, so I will move to approve.
Okay, and could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All right. Anyone opposed? All right, I will move that we'll call the meeting minutes approved unanimously, 4 votes. Let's get into our department reports. And I have executive officer listed first, so I'll turn the floor over to you, Maggie.
All right. Hi. Been pretty quiet on my end as usual. My big job is in January, February for the period of review. Having reviewed my job description in various places around the website and reminding myself of all the things I'm supposed to be doing. I've not gotten any PMs or anything from community members about concerns about the continuing committee. So haven't seen any sort of action there. Mostly the things that I've been doing have been, I'm running the life signs online release event. I guess that sort of sits within my recruit and retain players job description. We're running online events. And I've been hard at work getting all of the promos assembled. It's been my big goal, and helping transition stuff over to Remo as he's taken over the warehouse manager position. So I have mats now. I have all the buttons for OP, so those showed up yesterday. So my goal between now and Thursday when I go on vacation is to try to get those packaged up and to get the world's promos completely assembled and send out. I owe buttons to a bunch of places for regionals and masters, and I owe mats to German nationals, the Alabama Masters winners. I think those have been the only 2 level 3 events we've had so far. So yeah, that's what I've been working on lately, and getting another set of promo orders ready to go to Jeremy for Series T and 24. Some release events. We finally and hopefully the league promos. So been running all the promo stuff in the background.
Excellent. Any questions for Maggie? Okay, great. Next is first edition. So let's see. Life Signs is out. Definitely generated some conversation, a lot of good, some concerns from people, which we're taking seriously. It's always uncomfortable when you push things in a different direction, and the new Vidians cards are definitely pushing. So we're paying attention in case we did overtune something and there turns out to be problems, it's important that we give the cards a chance to be played and to breathe and to see how they work. And it's also important to remember that, at least initially, they're going to show up a ton because people are going to play them for achievements and they want to try out the new stuff. It'll be more telling over the next few events, how the real impact is going to be felt. But we're taking it seriously. This was definitely a big swing and it's different style of expansion. So we're keeping a very close eye on it. We have entered the top tier event OP lockout, or game changes lockout. So we had a game changes article that went up Monday. That'll be the last scheduled game changes before Worlds. We reserve the right, as always, to do an emergency change if something literally breaks the game. Other than that, there will be no more changes, so that North American Continentals, European Continentals, and Worlds will be played under the same environment. So no regularly scheduled game changes for 1E in August. Next one will be September, which will be literally the last day of the World Championship weekend. So probably won't be anything major reacting to Worlds that day, but just sort of your normal, regularly scheduled cleanup stuff. We have our next expansion is going to be Project Mandalorian, which we are calling the Alternate Universe sequel. It has gone into creative and rules reviews, which means this cards are getting stories put on them, and the rules team is tweaking the wording and making the cards work the way that design wants them to work. That's probably going to be coming out post Worlds, I guess the end of September. But we will see. Definitely be out before the end of the year. We're also testing our 30th anniversary stuff, at least some of it. That's going on right now. So the playtesters are busy. They got a lot in front of them. I playtested last night, and it was really fun with a goofy new deck out of, we call it Project Rainbow. It is one of our 30th anniversary sets. Balance team is working. Playtesters are working hard. The art team's killing it. I just submitted some league promo stuff to get made. Because we're going to run 2024, 2025 is going to be like our last hurrah of the existing league structure, and then we're going to roll out something new after that. That's the plan, at least. Tribbles, I haven't been able to play much, but Maggie, how have Tribbles been post Bad Brood Rising?
It's been a pretty interesting environment. People are at least have been avoiding the bonus point strategies. You know, I'm not seeing hate and lock in games, but like their existence has been enough to sort of dial back people's willingness to play like the pony powers and poison and things like that. The other thing I'm seeing though is, and that might just be because we are all because you can score points at the end of the round from organize and validate and control, even if you haven't gone out. That's becoming a very everybody's playing those powers right now, and I'm a little concerned that I'm concerned because, and I don't know why I didn't think of this while we were playtesting, but it's a very reliable way to score lots of points. You can, and the other thing that I'm finding, like as the TD, it's slowing the game down because, oh, I got it. I'm not just scoring the person who went out, who, by the way, is also probably playing, might be playing Idic and Validate in their deck. I'm also scoring two other people, three other people who've scored points. So it's making the end of round scoring very, very long and a little on the tedious side. And we didn't notice that in playtest, I think, because everybody, it was just like, it wasn't everybody playing all those powers at the same time. It was, oh, let's have this person do this deck. And then some other people would be playing some other different decks just to see how things would work out. So it's something we didn't notice during playtesting, but now we're seeing it.
Yeah, it's probably a little worse online too, because it's not as easy to everybody count their own piles and then just report the numbers
Uh-huh.
unlucky. So good to know.
Yeah, so it spreads out around the screen a lot more and makes it a little jumbled when you're doing the scoring.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Anybody else out there who's playing Tribbles, send us a message and let us know how your games are going, because it's a never evolving game state. So anyway, that's first edition. And Tribbles, did anyone have any questions for me?
I wanted to make a comment and something that I'm seeing so far in the Life Signs release event, that it's actually, so we are solidly in round 2 now. Round 1, it was, we're missing one game still from round 1, but it was, so we've got 14 players, so we've got 7 games.
Wow.
We were matched 3-3, Vidian winning versus non-Vidian. So for the folks who aren't paying attention at home, the online Life Signs release event is actually sort of a Star Wars style pairing. Everybody was directed to bring 2 decks, one Vidian and one non-Vidian deck. So everybody could see both sides of the new meta when they're playing. And so, yeah, so far it's the first round, it was 3-3. We've got 4 results now in for second round. It's 2-2. What I'm seeing is Vidians are very prone to mod wins. Almost all the Vidian wins have been mod wins. So,
yeah, they slow the game down.
They're slowing the game down, and when they win, they're winning with those mod wins. And the full wins, when the other side wins, it's not blowouts. Well, I mean, there is a blowout, but generally speaking, the Vidians are still in it for when the other deck gets a full win. So
the other thing is, I think as things stabilize, we'll see that turns take less time. Right now, I think they're probably still taking around the same amount of time just because everybody's trying to figure those things out. But bringing less resources out each turn should, in theory, speed up the turns, which means there should be more turns in the game, even if the game doesn't conclude in the time limit. So good to know. That's cool. All right. We do not have our director of second edition, our director of communications. So we will go to ops with Adam.
Yeah, sure. So approximately 30 days in, scheduling around summer vacations and the geographic diversity of the ops team has been difficult, but I do have our first department meeting on the calendar and looking forward to diving in to details now that I've just sort of had a chance to orient myself around just how things go. From a shipping perspective, that's, as we discussed last time, the top priority on my mind, given the backlog. Since the last meeting, the warehouse has been sent to Remo. I'm happy to report that he is up and running and fulfilling orders. I won't repeat Maggie's all of the good work she's been doing, but just want to foot stomp and thank her on everything she's been doing. Go forward regional orders will be handled by Remo, but she did a few of the early ones. And then for the community, because I know there's a lot of interest around this, we did decide that Dan's going to complete assembling and shipping the raffle winnings. That just made the most logistical sense, given how each order is custom and relatively complex. So just kudos to the entire team, Remo, Maggie, and Dan, on continuing to work at this, and we'll continue to get things out to people because that's really important. From a programming standpoint, a lot of support has been happening in programming because both games have had a lot going on. As Charlie mentioned, we just had Life Science come out. And then about to release on the 2E side is the Phage, which includes support for a new affiliation, which involves a lot of back-end infrastructure being set up to support that affiliation. Also, both games have had pretty wide-spanning errata releases. And those have been incorporated in including getting them published onto Lackey in a timely manner. So that's a good thing, given how many changes have been made to swaths of cards. So yeah, that's where we're at from an ops standpoint today. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope, we threw you in the deep end, so thank you for knowing how to swim.
Sure.
All right. Justin, tell us about finances.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot going on in the past month. Seems to be the rolling theme this year. Make a plan, things fall apart, things don't get pushed. Unfortunately, I had emergency leave at work with half my staff, so I'm playing work overtime the last couple months, but look to get everything else caught up and the backlog cleared for the forum business this weekend. We did get the OP stuff was all squared away, so Maggie's got that. That was the one thing I wanted to make sure did not fall through. So yeah, we got all of the 2024 stuff done and ordered. One image concern with the Canadian image, but I think we're okay. But Maggie can take a look at that and let me know. I'll let us know. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I was glad to get all the 2024 stuff done because we need to get that stuff out and overseas. So that was good. But yeah, look for some forum posts for getting all the communication and publishing caught up this weekend. So if anyone has any questions, reach out. Should be up today tomorrow because I will be staying indoors because it is 95 degrees outside.
It's supposed to be 103 down here today, so
Ouchie.
yeah, not going outside. All right. That was all of our department reports. Did anyone have any other things they thought of or wanted to bring up before we move on to old business? Okay. Continuing committee long-term plan. So we talked about this last time, about just getting things started, and our first goal was reviewing our job descriptions. Has anyone had the chance to do that?
I did, and I posted suggested changes to the forum thread that I started last time.
Right. I know mine is wildly out of date. I have not had the chance to revise it, but I did have my entire team look at their job descriptions and send me updated ones. So the whole department of 1E should be updated, ready to be updated in our next meeting. Anyone else?
Yeah, I did as well. Interesting exercise for me since it's hard to compare something that what are you doing? Well, I haven't done anything yet. So I'm just comparing it against sort of my impressions and my understandings, posted some comments, and we'll get some further feedback when I meet in further depth with the team.
Sounds good. Justin, have you looked at yours?
Yeah, I've looked at it. We'll post some recommended changes here in the next either this weekend or in the next week. Get those changes posted on our forum.
All right, so the plan then is to have all that put together and get the changes put together and presented for comment by our next meeting so the public can review them and go over them and ask questions and suggest changes, and then we can get that done. The next piece of business on the long-term plan was a 2025 plan. We said we would have that ready for our next meeting. So I just wanted to remind everybody, let's put together our plan for next year. milestones we want to hit, tasks we want to accomplish. So we can post that for comment and get things looking forward. The last piece we discussed was getting a mission statement. I did some research on this, and it turns out we don't actually have one. What we have is a diversity statement and a purpose statement from the bylaws. So we're going to post those up for comment, and then I'm going to post a discussion thread for what you want to see in the CC's mission statement, because crafting that is going to make it so we can craft our actual long-term plans, because the whole point is to implement the mission statement. So that's where we are on that business. Any questions or comments or concerns?
I'm posting a thread in our board forum so people can start putting that stuff in.
Maggie, you're the best. Just so you know. All right. 2024 OP materials, as Justin and Maggie both mentioned, those are complete. They are done. They are ordered. I need to go turn off my $50 a month Adobe subscription because I'm not using it right now. I do want to just apologize for how long that took. First draft of those were all done real quick, ready to go, and back in February, and then it took me way too long to get the revisions done. So I can't run them on my computer, so I have to use them on Andrea's computer, and it's not always the easiest to get on that. And then it's been a busy couple months, so I do apologize for that. The good news is all of our 2025 stuff, barring a change in plan, is almost ready already. So we can have that ordered at the end of the year and in place ready for next year.
Yeah, well, sweet Cyber Weekend sales. I noticed those have been pretty big. Those were nice sales last year on our vendor's website. So hopefully we can take advantage of Cyber Weekend to order that stuff.
Okay. Anything else from old business that anyone wanted to bring up? Let's talk about new business. First item is Continental and Worlds trophies and budgets for them. This is something that the CC has not really ever paid for, and I think that it's time that we do. People like trophies. Trophies are always popular. So I would like to propose a discussion to figure out what we provide and how that's going to work. So I will open the topic to the floor. Don't everybody talk at once.
I mean, the size of the trophies obviously is going to matter. Obviously, I don't think we can do the giant ones that are, the giant acrylic ones, but I think we could definitely the hockey pucks for either third and fourth place, and even probably second place. We could probably do the hockey pucks because those were not too bad for when I ordered them. And then do one trophy for the champion. I had looked back and for Continentals last year, was it last year? I think it was last year. Trophies that I got, so I did the hockey pucks. I think it was like $200, I think, for the trophies. So we could probably do something. I can post more detail on the forum site for what the prices were and the models of the trophies, and sort of base it in on 2 Continentals and a World. So that'd be probably 27 trophies in a year. So we can get an actual estimate of what it would cost. But
well, it'd be 36, right?
30. Oh yeah, math is hard. Yeah. Just so we can get a better cost, but I mean, we should be okay.
Well, let me ask you: is it really the case that $600 to $700 a year is going to be a problem?
I mean, right now, no. But as you know, if other costs increase, we obviously being mindful. So I think the hockey pucks definitely are something that definitely doable because those were fairly cheap to make. If we, and
Well,
if we
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, and if worst came to worst, like I said, if we needed to cut back the champion trophy and do just all hockey pucks, like I said, because those were fairly cheap, but then they looked pretty nice. We should be able to do it, but get some actual numbers for the team to take a look at in terms of what the cost would be. We can look at it. And I'll incorporate that into my 2025 potential, budget and costs of what we're potentially looking at spending based on this year's spending. So we may be able to do it next year. I think. I don't know if we can. We might be able to do World's trophies this year. I'll post after the meeting some more specifics and numbers and stuff, but I don't have that up on my screen at the moment.
Yeah, I can tell you that when I bought World's trophies in 2021, I bought stand-up trophies for top 3 for each game, and then I did hockey pucks for the rest of the top 8, and that cost me around $850 for the whole shebang.
Well, I think it's not. I know that the tournament directors also like to sort of customize to their events. Didn't the UK do like beer steins or something? Or am
Yeah,
I making that up? Somebody did
Yeah,
something
no,
like
it
that.
was Steins. It was, I mean,
Um,
I think I sucked so bad at Worlds last year, so I didn't even get anywhere near one of the
my
trophies.
thought is we should figure out like this is the amount of money that we will put towards it, and then if they want to put tournament fees or whatever more on top of it to make different trophies, that's fine. I think we should just provide some resources and say if you buy trophies, we will reimburse you up to this amount, type of thing. Um, and then if you want to go crazy, go crazy. But even if you're spending $500 on trophies and we hand you a check for 300, that's taking a lot of the pressure off. So um, I think it's a great idea. I think we should put together a plan and um, like I like the idea for if we're doing hockey pucks, um, that we develop a standard front or standard backside, where it's like all of them have the same information on the back, and then the front side can be designed by whomever is hosting the event. Um, but generally, are we in favor of this idea? Pending numbers. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in favor. I think they're a great marketing tool, great to show off. I agree, Charlie, that we would want to, if we're giving TDs the ability to create their own, to make the logistics a little easier, we'd want to provide some templates to get some standard branding on them so that there's no mistake as to the legitimacy or officialness of what people are out there creating on our behalf.
Yeah, I'd also like to maybe throw in the option of doing something smaller for more places, building that into the budget too. Like if you want to do poker chips for top 16 or something, or something in that vein, even just like Andrea made these really cool ones for Worlds 10 years ago now. I don't even remember, but it was like a rectangle frame of acrylic, and then she just made a really nice printed insert that went in the middle. Um, so those,
yeah,
Challenge coins
yeah.
have
That was
blown up in popularity over the past couple years, so there's an idea.
yeah,
what Nick Yankovic did that for London Worlds as well. He did the acrylic square frames with a nice print in customized insert that he did the names and had
yeah.
yeah.
It was so yeah. Let's get some feedback. There you go. Cool. Let's get some feedback from our TDs that have run these events on what they would want. Again, I don't think this is something that like. I think our responsibility here is we send you money. Production and all that should be done at the local level rather than us trying to like get things made and shipped around, which is just going to make it more expensive.
Yeah.
Our job is like here's a check and some digital assets. But yeah, I think something like that is long overdue, and we should have been doing that for a while. I'd like to get that in place as soon as possible. So if you are out there and you have run an event in the past or are running an event in the future, let us know what you think about tournament trophies. If you're willing to have a standardized language on one side or a part of it, and if you're willing to, spend within a budget or take on the additional cost yourself, which I don't imagine would be a problem because right now people are buying them 100% out of their own money or tournament fees. Um, Getting a check would be less of that, so I can't imagine that would be a problem for anyone. But any other comments on us supporting our trophy budgets or implementing trophy budgets?
I will say it would be nice to have a standard, certainly nice to have a standardized art resource for that, because the way I did it was did a save as, right click save as, using images, low res images off the website. So that needed a lot of cleaning from the company because I have zero art skills.
I think if we're going to do this, providing a standard template, like if you don't want to think about it, send this to your printer and they will make the trophy for you. Just all you have to do is tell them to change the event name. Would be a good thing to have. And then if you want to go above and beyond that, we'll also provide you with the logos and standard wordings and so forth for everything. So, the last thing I have on new business is 2024 and 2025 major event bidding. Chris is not able to join us. He's apparently driving through Minnesota detours. So hope everything's all right out there, Chris. Enjoying your weekend week at the cabin. We want to host more events and we want you to host them. So tell us what you want to host. We also want to get way better at our scheduling. So we would really love to have all of our 2025 majors planned out by the end of this year's Worlds so that we can announce them like the week after Worlds. Like ideally, I think we mentioned this last time, but our ideal strategy would be during the closing ceremonies of Worlds in 2024, we announce the location and time of Worlds 2025 and so on. So if you're interested in any events in 2025 or 2026 even, contact Chris or Michael in North America or Jules in Europe. So anyone else have anything to add to new business?
No.
Okay. I have not seen any comments posted on our YouTube or on the forums. Let me check again.
Seeing anything on Discord?
Yep, it looks like it is a quiet meeting today. We'll give it another minute and see if anyone pops up with anything. I don't know if we will be able to have another meeting before Worlds. I think I would like to. I don't know what August looks like for everybody yet. So I don't have another meeting, a date to announce today, but we have some looming business that we need to take care of. I'd like to get done going into the World Championship. So probably next meeting in August.
Yeah, I should be able. So no Gen Con weekend. Doing a Gen Con running.
No Gen Con, probably avoid Kaiserfest weekend. So.
Yep. So yeah, other than that, yeah, should be okay.
All right, great. Remo in the YouTube chat just asked Mandalorian. I mentioned that earlier, but I'll mention it again. Project Mandalorian, also known internally and externally as the AU sequel, the alternate universe sequel, is still in testing, but has been passed over to Rules and Creative for their work. Lots of card changes happen when that happens. Cards start to get story, and we start to get nitpicky about lore and wording and Rules yelled at me because I did something they didn't want me to do, and then I yelled back because it was really important, and so we found a compromise on a whole set of cards. That's typical. That's very normal. Usually the weird stuff I clear with them in ahead of time, and this was a case of this isn't that weird. Every other game does this, and then they came back and said, this is first edition. Everything is harder. So um, we will see how that shakes out. The current plan is to sort of put that out in the post Worlds pre 30th anniversary timeframe. So September, October is our current timeline for that. And we're still trying to figure out what to call the darn thing. I still like AU2, but nobody else does. So we will I think the poll I did suggested like Kelvin timeline. So like alternate universe beyond or something. Like, and that may be where we end up. Who knows?
Wrath of Alternate Universe is
The
my
Wrath
take.
of Alternate
Yeah.
Universe thing.
So now Remo says Star Wars crossover, and I'm like, only if we want to get sued.
Yeah. Project Mandalorian is the code name. Um, it's not the code names never have anything to do with the content directly. They're usually some dumb joke that my brain conjured up. Um, so it was Mandalorian because the previous two, when I first designed the release schedule, there was Rogue for Rogue One and Solo for Solo. It was the two mirror sets, and then there was an off-theme set after them, and so I named it Mandalorian because that show was big at the time. It then subsequently split into three, becoming Mandalorian, Bo-Katan, and Grogu. But they're just code names. They don't have anything to do with the content. Every now and then I make a dumb joke that I like for example, the original two Delta Quadrant sets were Blizzard and Dilly Bar, which are ice cream treats at Dairy Queen. DQ, DQ, that was all the extent of it. That's how my brain is. I'm dumb. Don't ever worry about what the code name is. We're trying to move. We still need code names because our whole back end is set up to use them, but I'm trying to, in public, call them code name parentheses overview of what the content is. That's why Mandalorian is Mandalorian parentheses alternate universe sequel. So, and I will have a lot more news about what's coming after the 30th anniversary big announcements. So I've been kind of coy about what's happening because we need to get through the 30th anniversary stuff, and I can't really tell you about that until the 30th anniversary starts because a lot of it is a surprise. So, not to make this all about winning. This is the way, Remo. You are correct. This is the way. I wish I had a Mando helmet. Put it on, but I did want to shout. I think we mentioned it briefly, but I should shout out that second edition has a new expansion coming. I think it's called Phage. I don't know if it's Phage or the Phage. I should probably figure that out.
It's Phage because that's the episode name. I just
Gotcha.
watched all the Vidian episodes because both games have
It wasn't
Vidian
supposed
stuff
to
coming
be
out.
that was an accident, but the one kept getting pushed off, and then we rushed it into production because we thought Vidians would help with the speed problems we saw last year, and then it just so happened that they ended up coming back to back. So I mean that was not intentional, but it's funny.
So that's why next year's OP is going to be Year of Vidian because we can finally do that for both. Or at least that's what I proposed. I don't know if anybody's actually picked that up
Well,
yet.
that's the stuff that I made, so I hope it is the
Oh,
year
okay.
of the
Well,
Vidian.
good.
Yeah, so that's coming, I think, soonish. I don't know if the actual release date's known, but the teaser graphic is on the front page. So,
Well, I can give me a moment. I can look at the Writers Guild.
oh, I know when it is, but I don't know if it's public yet, so I don't want to tell
Oh,
everybody.
okay. Oh, okay. Well, yes.
I don't want to step on
that's
Shark's toes, but I do want to give that a shout out because that's coming soon, and it's adding the first affiliation to second edition in 18 years. So that's pretty cool. Whether you think or not, it's pretty cool that a game that's been out of print as long as it's been is getting a new affiliation from scratch. So it's very cool.
Yeah, and Tiarka is planning new affiliations, hopefully every year. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but I know there's planning for the next affiliation happening right now. So that is going on there.
Yep. So stay tuned for an announcement on that. If you're a TUI fan, Maggie's got Tribbles promos.
World's Tribbles are done.
Nice.
Gabriel Bell.
I love that card. That image is so
done.
perfect. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's so perfect. So nice we used it twice.
yep.
Yep.
What
All right,
I
well,
was gonna say something.
we should probably close out though.
Yep.
We're rambling now.
May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I will so move since I'm not muted right now.
Anyone seconded? Can't be me.
Sure.
All right. Anyone opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all, and stay tuned for our next board meeting, which we will announce in advance. Have a great weekend or whatever time period you are in that you are watching this.